Oh, it's time for the new Crash Course feature, the mystery document? How mysterious. The rules here are simple. I read and attempt to identify the mystery document. If I am right, I do not get shocked by this shock pen, and if I am wrong, I do. Okay, what do we have here? The Indians were totally deprived of their freedom and were put in the harshest, fiercest, most horrible servitude and captivity, which no one who has not seen it can understand. Even beasts enjoy more freedom when they are allowed to graze in the fields, but our Spaniards gave no such opportunity to Indians and truly considered them perpetual slaves. I sometimes came upon dead bodies on my way, and upon others who were grasping and moaning in their death agony, repeating, "Hungry, hungry." And this was the freedom, the good treatment, and the Christianity the Indians received. Well, that's nice. Okay, so the mystery document is always a primary source, and since the writer refers to our Spaniards, I'm gonna guess that he or she, probably he, is European, and a Spaniard sympathetic to the Indians, which narrows the list of suspects considerably. So it probably wasn't De Sepulveda, for instance, who argued that the Indians might not even be human. Okay, Stan, I'm actually pretty confident here. I believe it is from a short account of the destruction of the Indies by Bartolomé de las Casas.
Oh, dang it!
Oh, Stan just told me I have the author right, but the book wrong. It's a history of the Indies. Oh, I hate shocks, both literal and metaphorical. So we focused a lot on the brutality of the Spanish toward the Indians, but at least one Spaniard, De las Casas, recognized that his countrymen were terrible. This realization is a good thing, obviously, but it leads us to one of the big problems when it comes to studying this time and place. The Black Legend is the tale that the Spanish unleashed unspeakable cruelty on the Indians. Now that tale is true, but that idea was used by later settlers, especially the English, to justify their own settlements. Like, part of the reason they needed to expand their empire was to save the Indians from the awful Spanish, but were the English so much better? Yeah, probably not. As we mentioned at the beginning of today's episode, American Indians didn't have writing, so we don't have records of their perspective. Now, some Europeans, like De las Casas, were critical of the Spaniards, but most considered the Indians heathens and implied, or even outright said, that they deserved whatever horrible things befell them. So at the beginning of our series, I want to point out something that we need to remember throughout. One of the great things about American history is that we have a lot of written sources. This is the advantage of the US coming onto the scene so late in the game, historically speaking. But every story we hear comes from a certain point of view, and we always need to remember who is speaking, why they are speaking, and especially which voices go unheard and why.
Hatuey fue un líder famoso de la gente taína. Los taínos vivían en el Caribe, en las islas al sur de Florida. Hatuey era cacique de los taínos que vivían en la isla de Hispaniola. Hoy, la isla de Hispaniola es conocida como Haití y la República Dominicana. Cuando los conquistadores y misioneros españoles empezaron a llegar a la región al final del siglo XV, había muchas confrontaciones entre ellos y los taínos. Los españoles buscaban oro para traer a España y mandaron a que los taínos lo encontraran. Los españoles hicieron trabajar a los taínos y ellos sufrieron muchas enfermedades y maltrato. Hatuey es famoso por sus acciones valientes frente a la opresión de su gente. Él formó una rebelión con otros taínos, pero eventualmente fue capturado y matado por los conquistadores en 1512. Hatuey fue el héroe de los taínos y hoy, en Cuba, dicen que Hatuey fue el primer héroe nacional de Cuba. Hay un monumento de él, una ciudad con su nombre y unos productos nacionales que usan su nombre.